All right, so first things first, in the Lagoon layer, you're gonna want, this is where I first recommend start making save files for your speed runs, like when you're learning. That way you can practice the same level over and over again. What you could do is just hit the plus button, go to the pause menu, go to the save data, hit save, and then save 3 copies of the same file. That way you have multiple files to go back to. Something I do like to do when I'm doing this is I'll run one of the save files up until the end of the layer, and then I'll run another save file up until the end of the layer, and then after I'm done with these 2, then I'll load the 3rd one, and then I'll go back in, and then I'll save again over the previous 2 that I just ran, and like if I want to continuously practice this this layer. Another thing to note is the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2 do allow you to have up to 8 users on the console itself, so you can create multiple save files for different levels to just go back to and practice whenever you need to. Highly recommend doing that. But yeah, I mean, if as you're running through the game, you could just do this and practice the level as you go. Anyways, so to start off with the Lagoon layer, now this is going to be really hard for me to explain while I'm doing it because there's a lot going on here. But basically the idea is you're going to want to go to the right here, grab a chunk, and then immediately start doing a combination of different jumps and surfs along the farthest right side of the map without falling off the ledge. If done correctly, you won't have any issues, but there is a lot of like uneven terrain, so you will experience input drops. I probably will in this video, but I mean, you can always save it as long as you get back to the wall. So if you fall off the edge, that's basically a dud run because you lose your gold. You don't want to do that. You do not want to die here. Just reset your run at this point if you fall off the ledge. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go through this, just kind of explain it as I'm gonna try to do my best to explain it as I'm doing it, but just kind of follow along with it. So I'm gonna roll jump to the right, grab a chunk, AFAT, surf, cancel the surf, AFAT up here, and cancel it. Then I'm gonna AFAT to this ledge over here, and then kind of do some jumps with my surfs here until like along the ledge. And then that chunk I didn't feel confident in that chunk, so I threw it. So I got rid of it, and I'm going to pick up another chunk, and then I'm going to AFAT off this ledge here. Then I'm going to cancel the surf and do a chunk jump to land up on this this ground here. Break the void stake. Dive punch down. You're going to be immediately met with a cutscene. Skip it. Roll jump to the right, grab a chunk, and then AFAT off the ledge here. Land about right here. Once you're here, you're going to AFAT across this gap, and you're going to cancel the surf and do a jump stall, just like so. That way you get across, no problem. Once you land here, go back into a surf and then jump across this ledge. Do the same thing, and then surf to this edge, and then do a surf jump at the end and do some jump stalls to get across the gap. It is quite complicated. It's really hard to explain. But once you understand like the combination of buttons you need to press for like jump stalling, with the AFATs and after you're like surf boosting and stuff like that, it'll come naturally. But yeah, as you can see, we cleared the gap without having to build a bridge. Once you're across here, break the gold around the banana just to get some extra. Come over to this little concrete mound, pick up a chunk. Sometimes it won't always be a concrete chunk. You might get a pink one. That's fine. If you get a concrete or a stone one, you're perfectly fine. Then immediately start surfing and start like jump surfing as much as you can so you get to this ledge, and then chunk jump into a roll, and then get the disc. Just do a normal fat over this little area, and then do an AFAT across this gap, and then keep the surf. Cancel your surf. AFAT over this wall. AFAT again. Place the disc into the record player. After you place the record player in, you're going to be met with a little bit of a loading screen, and then immediately cutscene. Skip it. Hold L and R to do a drum beat immediately, and then skip the cutscene again immediately, and you'll be met with some dialogue. Master the dialogue. You can only go so fast here. The game doesn't allow you to master it. I just like to tap A and B at the same time to make sure I get the button press as early as possible. Hold L and R to do a drum beat again. Hold minus smash plus, skip the cutscene. Press plus on the controller and hit return to layer because you do not need to do the Bananza tutorial. Once you do that, you'll be met with another loading screen. Just keep pressing A and then start mashing A and B to skip all this dialogue. Now, unfortunately, this is the longest dialogue in the game. It's very, like, it's a lot of button pressing, just mashing constantly, mindlessly, until we get to the dialogue. But once we get to, once we get through the dialogue, you'll be met with another cutscene. Just be ready to skip that. It'll be right after the Poppy Kong dialogue. She'll have like 2 things of dialogue, and then it will fade to black and go into the cutscene here. So yeah, just be ready for that. All right, so here we go. Skip the cutscene. Once you're done with the cutscene, immediately transform into DK and grab a chunk. You want this heavy piece, A-Fat over this ledge, and then surf. Cancel the surf and throw the chunk at that over there. Now, I got unlucky. There's a little piece here, but you want to throw the chunk at this so it breaks, and then you want to come up here and break this. Then you can punch the wall specifically right there, and it breaks. If it doesn't break, then you can just walk up to the wall and do a charge punch. It's completely fine. Come to the wall on the left and climb up on the wall and start doing up smashes and break through the stone as fast as possible. Unfortunately, I ran out of Bananza. Normally, I do this a little bit faster. But because I'm trying to explain it, it's a little bit slower. But yeah, you'll get through this as Kong. So just do that. And once you're up here, you'll be out. And there's your void stake. Break the void stake. And dive down. Once you land, you'll be met with a cutscene. Skip it. Now, this is where one of your first backup things is going to be. This little barrel right here next to this Bananium gem. Hit it. It'll have a balloon. Hit R to get it. And then keep progressing. Break this chunk of gold. Break this chunk of gold. Grab a chunk. Hit surf. Hit these 2 barrels on your way. Jump across this. Do a jump stall into a roll punch cancel. Or a roll punch. And do some turf surfing down this path to get to the boss. Skip cutscene. Skip the cutscene. Transform into DK, grab a chunk, and start surfing towards this purple ball on the wall over here. Well, he got in my way, so I don't know how well this is going to work now. That is unfortunate. So the idea there is you actually want to get the purple ball and turn around and throw it as fast as possible at him, because it'll break him. But as you can see, that didn't happen. So instead, I'm just going to throw it there at him. I'm going to try to break him here. There we go. You want to try to break him as fast as possible. This boss is really irritating. A lot of times, if you don't get the early kill on him, you might end up resetting. But yeah, after that, A-Fat up under the mountain and start roll punching into him. Skip the cutscene immediately, and then you'll be met with this unskippable cutscene. And then roll punch into whatever you want to call this thing. One of Void's objects. Could be a Void stake, I guess. Just a big one. But it's more like a boss mask. A Void mask. It's probably what I'll call it for the rest of the run, a Void mask. I think that's what it's called later on in the run, but only on 2 specific bosses. After that cutscene, just roll forward and dive down into the hole. Take note of how much gold you had. I had like 1942 there, it looked like. So I'm going to need a little bit of gold from these balls. One common question is it faster to hold the dive punch or or mash? Well, you're not really mashing. You're kind of intermittently pressing and holding the dive punch until the red shows up on your screen, and then repeat over and over again. That has been proven to be a little bit faster than just holding the dive punch. So yeah, just make sure you're doing that. As you saw during that dive, I did get a couple of those gold balls just to make up some of the gold that I will need. And then we are in the hilltop layer.